आयुष्मान खुराना की भी फिल्म आई है, मेरी भी आई है। दोनों फिल्में देखिए प्लीज, दोनों को एंजॉय करिए क्योंकि बहुत अच्छा मैसेज बाहर जाता है कि आप लोगों ने अकेले पूरा का पूरा बॉलीवुड से नेपोटिज्म ही खत्म कर दिया।
Harshvardhan Rane is getting really dragged on the internet for the city tour he is going on, for the posts he is making on social media, quite contrary to the quality of the movie, giving even well-wishers whiplash, and most importantly, for the absolute clincher in the escapade of posts that he may be doing another movie with Milap Zaveri. In all of the trolling that Harsh is receiving, I feel like saying a lot of things that provides more context to everyone regarding the nature of the industry, what the success of Ek Deewane Ki Deewaniyat means to someone like Harsh, and why I fully understand why he is going absolutely balls to the wall regarding the promotion of this movie. You must remember that in the midst of many Bollywood movies releasing at the start of the year, a lot of people had their own theories of which movie is going to do exceedingly well. Everyone had their bets on a blockbuster like Ye Jawani Hai Deewani, which did probably in the top 5 of the re-releases, or the assumption that millennials will swarm into theaters for Andaz Apna Apna or Kaho Na Pyar Hai. Never did anyone imagine that the top grossing re-release film in India, not only in Hindi, is going to be the Harshvardhan Rane starrer Sanam Teri Kasam, grossing over 40 crores in its re-release, almost 4 times more than its original run in 2016. The reason why I bring this up is not to present it as a defense to what Harsh is doing now, but to remind you on why the film was even re-released in the first place. Harsh literally made it his sole mission to rally fans to make sure the film re-releases by literally standing outside the producer Deepak Mukut's office and urging him to take a punt on this movie, instilling faith in him that there is a genuine and loyal fan base around the movie. Of course, it was associated with a slight push with the PR, with fans ready with their posters and cameras, but it was the underdog that no one expected to do well upon its re-release. Harsh had posted on social media regarding the same, and he had said, "Step 1 was me posting on social media for Sanam Teri Kasam to get re-released. Step 2 was standing below Deepak sir's office. Step 3 was getting the film finally re-released. Step 4 was the desire to see a houseful board outside cinema houses because that's something that I've never seen in my career. And the final step is the 5th one, where you'll find me standing below his office once again requesting him to make part 2. I have no awkwardness about it. I'm ready to do it," he said. This is the personal responsibility that Harsh took in order to, in some way or the other, have the dream of seeing a movie as a lead that has houseful theatre boards. This is absolutely contrary to what happened with Harsh when he starred in the Bijoy Nambiar directed film Dange just last year, which had little to no takers in theatres. A film that was technically brilliant, yes, but a film that lost its way from a storyline perspective. But its financial result was disastrous, collecting just less than a crore in its entire box office run. This is an actor who is coming from an experience of just listening to crickets in movie halls when his film arrives, and I will always remember what he said in the marketing run of that movie.
सर पैम्पलेट फ्लायर क्या, मैं तो आप बोलो मुझे रंगोली बनाने में वो बनाने चला जाऊंगा, बट मेरे पास ऐसी एंटाइटलमेंट नहीं है, ऐसे फैमिली बैकग्राउंड से हम में से कोई नहीं है कि हम लोग घर बैठ के बोल दें अपनी टीम को प्रमोट कर दो। हमारे पास वो ऑप्शन नहीं है।
This is the nature of the beast of the industry, where if you are not associated with the perfect producer who exactly knows how to push and market your film, you literally have to take a personal responsibility in making sure that you create the awareness of the movie. This is something that Kartik Aaryan has been often criticized for, because he goes above and beyond to promote his movies, so much so that he floods our social media timelines, in the process irritating audiences too, much like on how they are pouncing on Harshvardhan Rane today. For his promotional style seems egregious, and it's for a film which is objectively terrible. But it's exactly what needs to be done when you strike gold, and I know this is a word that people are getting tired of listening to, but it's true especially for outsiders. Kartik is often accused of pushing his name through his PR in really aggressive fashion, but I really understood this strategy when he opened up about the same themes with Sucharita Tyagi in an interaction post Chandu champion not doing well at the box office.
आप जो प्रोडक्ट ला रहे हो उसको मार्केट किस तरीके से कर रहे हो, वो सारी चीज़ें आप क्यों देख रहे हो, शायद मैं सेल्फिशली अपने करियर के लिए वो देख रहा हूँ। एक वर्ड मार्केटिंग हो जाता है, लेकिन वो कैसे होता है, कहाँ तक एक लिमिट है, नहीं है, वो limitless है।
The taste of success is very rare in the industry. We are looking at a hit ratio of less than 10% in a calendar year. And when someone like Harshvardhan Rane or Kartik Aaryan strikes gold at the box office, you think they are not going to go above and beyond and spread the word about it so that producers garner some sense in their head and consider them for roles in the future? Harshvardhan Rane is a 41-year-old actor who has been working in the entertainment industry since Left Right Left dropped in 2007. And tell me one big advertisement campaign that he has been signed for, that he is remembered as a brand ambassador for. Proving your worth to the gatekeepers is something that you have to make such an extra effort for that one can't even comprehend on how this marketing or PR push is almost the bare minimum just so that people notice you. I remember Kartik Aaryan sitting with Jitesh Pillai and telling him that he got his first advertising campaign after the success of Sonu Ki Titu Ki Sweetie. This is almost 6 years after being in the industry, while at the same time, star kids get launched with brands even before they have signed their first project. Before everyone thinks that I have become the representative defense lawyer for Harsh and Kartik, I must tell you that of course this is grey. There is a slippery slope that one can find themselves stumbling upon without even realizing it while they are basking in the glory of success for their film. And this is what worries and irritates audiences often, when one gets carried away in the moment. This is something that Kartik, in his press run post the Bhool Bhulaiya 2 success, was rightly called out for. Kartik was considered to be the savior of Bollywood, or what was a dreadful year, a year where people missed the community viewing experience in theaters and celebrated a mid product like Bhool Bhulaiya 2. And while Kartik in his own fashion made sure that he markets this film to everyone, he also got carried away with the star tags, which people were rightfully calling out. Similarly, we find Harsh right now, who is, from what I can imagine, only in dreamland, as his film is getting celebrated across the country. Mind you, it may not be obvious for it doesn't linger near the hundreds of crores, but the movie has outperformed beyond everyone's expectations. What's sad regarding both the cases of the promotional runs that the actors have went on are that it's with pretty terrible products. Ek Deewane Ki Deewaniyat for me personally is a horrendous film full of cringeworthy, regressive and problematic elements, and everyone who had the courage to watch it had one unanimous thought, that it was terrible, but I'm happy for Harsh. And that's what I feel while he is on this promotional run, celebrating movie from city to city. The only thing I get concerned about is when the vocabulary of actors gets restricted to being a bechara outsider. And this is where the story of Kangana Ranaut especially rings true for me. For this is a person who went through the absolute ringer and hell to make a name for herself in the industry. And she was the voice of reason in an environment that only promoted their favorites among their own kin. When she called out people in positions of power, and rightfully so, everyone backed her for the unjust practices and straight up bullying that she had endured. However, when the same tag of being the deprived and tortured outsider gets used for personal vested interests and makes everyone the villain but yourself, is where people start distancing from you. And this is where the art takes more precedent than the surname you possess. I just hope that Harsh, Kartik or any outsider don't get in the rut of identifying themselves as the outsiders who deserve support from the audience, because it isn't the audience's moral responsibility to support someone. It should be backed by compelling art versus guilt-tripping them into watching your movie. I understand the sentiment that Harsh is going for, the gratefulness he feels with the fact that Ayushmann and Harsh's movies are getting footfalls, but that cannot be your only identity. I do say this though with all the love in my heart, because I have seen how tough it is to even get your foot in the door. It is the image of Sisyphus holding on to that rock as he pushes it uphill, hoping and praying that one wrong move doesn't have the future plans come all crashing down, and give it all the power when there is even a hint of some momentum. I root for the success of some of these artists, but I hope they know when to reel it back in just a bit and primarily focusing on associating with good projects. I hope Ek Deewane Ki Diwaniyat can be a stepping stone for Harsh to get more influence and power in the industry to do exactly what he wants, because otherwise you're just going to be a one-trick pony lecturing people for not supporting outsiders. You know, I often think about this on how glued to the internet we are regarding PR or marketing trends, and I sometimes try to play a game in my head on what seems like a huge investment in a PR run where there is a real influx of the same actor appearing, and what appears like genuine hype and organic. And if I were to do a quick rundown on the trends that we have seen in the last few months or a year, what becomes viral, let's just do a rapid fire of the wildest events and you let me know whether you think it was paid PR or genuine hype. Stree 2 was one of the biggest hits of 2024, and while all the heavy lifting was done by the trio of Rajkumar Rao, Apar Shakti Khurana, Abhishek Banerjee and even Pankaj Tripathi, reels were flooded with Shraddha Kapoor's celebration posts, talking about how a woman-centric film became a blockbuster, even going further to state that Shraddha showed all the Khans who the real star is. Yep, that was some next level PR work. Vamika Gabbi was also compared to Aishwarya Rai while promoting Baby John, and the classic generic posts of she eats 1000 Aishwarya Rais for breakfast were floating around, and since the past few months, it's been radio silence. PR to the max 100%, but I swear, the next time I read the same she eats 1000 any other actress's posts, I'm going to scream. Veer Paharia in his debut role in Skyforce was featured in articles being compared to Tom Cruise's Maverick, and his dancing skills to some of the best ever seen in Bollywood. The bee roaming around its beehive step was forced on our social media feed so much that it became a meme and an opportunity to be integrated in an ad that he featured in. So of course it was all organic. I'm kidding. This has become a strategy and path for brand deals too now. Arjun Kapoor's Underworld meme, I believe, was an organic trend which the internet loved and made various versions of, something that Arjun benefited from with a brand deal, which I believe was an organic one, of course, compared to Veer Paharia's. I found it hilarious that Janhvi Kapoor's team thought that the state-wise rant in Param Sundari is some informed and woke take on there being 5 states and popular stars from each state. So much so that it got shared everywhere. I believe it was a very forced campaign to present Hindi cinema as having evolved in their representation of other communities while doing exactly the opposite in the movie. In my previous episode on the talk show Too Much, many people had the conspiracy theory that the cheating segment may have been done deliberately to present Janhvi Kapoor in a better light, but trust me, I've seen 5 episodes of that show and the thoughts and perspectives of the host is consistent here, and I think Janhvi genuinely and organically disagreed with them. Urvashi Rautela's press run for Daku Maharaj was generational, written for the history books, and I believe she is one of the reasons for traffic for the film increasing when it released on Netflix beyond the Telugu audience, because people genuinely got interested about 105 crores Daku Maharaj because of those interviews. I think her interview snippets were genuinely organically flooded in our feeds because she's just hilarious. Ajay Devgan's Pehla Tu, Dooja Tu probably had to be the funniest part of the otherwise irritating Son of Sardar 2. And I think people were just finding it absolutely hilarious that Ajay has gone through an entire career of doing the bare minimum and how it progressively became more low effort as the years have gone by. Another dancing trend that became viral was Jaideep Ahlawat dancing on the jewel thief number Jadoo, and it really came out of syllabus for everyone on what a natural he was on the dance floor. Both trends that I believe were organic. I don't know whether this is true for all of you, but recently my feed has been flooded with Ibrahim Ali Khan reels where he is collaborating with various brands right now, embracing his lisp in the script, and while it is praiseworthy that he does celebrate and showcase the same to the public, I think the turncoat is rather suspicious, for it is completely contrary to his first 2 film appearances where it was carefully dubbed and hidden, and when the 2 projects became disasters, this almost feels like a last-ditch effort to rebrand for the actor. And ladies and gentlemen, that is privilege. Imagine having 2 digital disasters that are heavily trolled and still having the ability to somehow associate with big brands and hope for a reinvention. Only privilege can provide you that, and hence, no matter how cringe some of the marketing and PR push the likes of Kartik and Harsh may be doing, I think one is a means of survival and longevity, and the other is to generate hype on what is clearly a mediocre talent. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what is your assessment of this Bollywood PR push. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handles are right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.